Alright, we should be live. Sorry that took longer than I anticipated, but we are here now. So, we're going to get our coverage started. Let me know in chat if you can hear me because OBS says we're muted, but my microphone doesn't. But I want to start off with our tornado warning south of Dalhart, Texas. So this is an observed tornado on the ground. We've got some decently tight, but not the tightest rotation you can see on velocity. Alright, there we go. Sorry about that. Had to get my headphones connected. But I do want to go over our severe thunderstorm watch. If you did not see my community post, we'll go over this real quick. So we have a PDS severe thunderstorm watch. Is it not PDS anymore? Hold on. Okay, the PDS is just further over here, but I guess on the computer doesn't show the tag, but that is still in effect. So if we go over the probabilities for this, I have it pulled up on another screen. It's a moderate likelihood for tornadoes. EF2 plus tornadoes is low, but we have the highest level risk for severe wind, 65 plus knot wind, and severe hail. So that is going to be associated with our line of storms, which will likely become a derecho. I think the PDS is this general area towards Dallas, because then the new one that was issued is not. No, not yet. I'm live. I'm not hungry. Oh, I guess that didn't mute. But we are back. So let me just get everything set up really quick. We're going to share this out. Okay, now the microphone. I switched it over. So let me know if that quality improved. But this is probably going to be a long stream, or for as long as I can be here. We do have a destructive storm south of Memphis, Texas. So this is destructive for both wind and hail. Alright, good. Our microphone is better. So this is very large hail to the south of Memphis, Texas. This is moving south-southeast. The hail core is moving pretty fast. So this is just to the west of Abilene and Childers, Texas. So you need to have your vehicles inside. And if this storm is already getting close to you, don't worry about the vehicles. Just get away from windows to protect yourself from that, because that hail will shatter those windows. We already have some storms in the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area. This one over here with some pretty big hail. It's good to be back live again after a week or two, because it's been a while, but I'm going to check in on the live chat. So thanks for tuning in the stream. Tabby Gamer, William, let's see, Camp. So how are you guys all doing? Feel free to talk in the live chat. But we're going to be here for a while, so we're just getting started. I'll be here as long as I can. I don't think that's CC right there, so we're good with that storm. But you still need to be taking your tornado precautions, but it doesn't look like we have anything too strong on the ground at the moment. Today, a lot of our severe thunderstorms, you're going to need to treat them like tornado warnings, such as I'd treat this one like a tornado warning. Get to the lowest floor of a sturdy building away from windows. With those 80-mile-an-hour winds, because those are pretty strong, and that's weak tornado or hurricane force winds, and also that baseball-sized hail, because that would hurt to get hit by. It's going to do a lot of damage. But we do have 16 people in the live chat, so let us know where you're tuning in from so we can focus on those areas where we have viewers so that they know what's going on. If you are new here, I would appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel. That is completely optional, but that is the easiest way of helping me out because it is completely free. And we also do have a PayPal, but donations are completely optional, but we greatly appreciate them. And you can see in the top left, there is a donation board, so you will be put on there for the stream. More than half of injuries from conditions like this are wound with embedded glass from shattered windows. Yeah, those cuts can be really deep, and that can be just as dangerous as flying debris in a tornado, because most of the time, most people think, oh, you're going to get sucked up by the tornado. That could happen, but a lot of the times you'll get injured from the debris, so that's why it's good to be away from windows, because wooden 2x4s and many other things flying around in the air could really injure you, or worse. We might have some rotation here near Turkey, Texas, but I'm not going to confirm that because it's very messy on radar right now. But we're going to keep an eye on it. But whether this storm does have the potential to produce a tornado or not, you need to be in your basement or storm shelter, lowest floor of a sturdy building. But if your storm shelter is outdoors or it's detached from your business or home, do not run towards it, because you will get hit by that hail, so it's best to just stay where you are if you are already seeing that hail. And that hail core is located just south of Abilene, Texas, and it is moving towards, it'll go just south of Childress, south of the airport that they have there. So this is just south of, I'd guess, Route 86, Highway 287. So avoid driving through this area between Turkey and Abilene. Just stay north of there. Hello, Sydney. Thanks for tuning in to the stream. So you can see what those storms will look like in between 2 to 4 hours from now in that image that we have in the very top right corner of your stream, of the stream. So that's what those storms are expected to look like very soon. Alright, sounds good, William. Thanks for tuning in. Always good to see you here. We do have one active tornado warning right now, and that is south of Dalhart, Texas. So continue to seek shelter on the lowest floor of a sturdy building, away from windows. If you can't get into a basement or storm shelter, a hallway or closet, bathroom is probably best. But if a bathroom has a window, I'd rule that out. It's not a very good option. So we have severe thunderstorm watches right now stretching from all the way just east of Santa Fe, New Mexico, all the way through St. Louis, Missouri, and portions of western Illinois. So if you are in any of those areas shaded in the pink, but especially in Texas or Oklahoma, you need to remain on high alert today. Let's check on this rotation near Barnstall. Okay, so we actually do have some rotation in there, I believe. I'd say that's rotation. Thank you for letting us know, Camp. I really appreciate that, because I would have not noticed that, because I'm focusing on our severe warned storms right now. But that is pretty significant. You can see how it's kind of developed over the past few scans. So down the road, that could produce a tornado. There is always the potential. Okay, so we do have a new tornado warning for our storm south of Dalhart, Texas. This is going out for areas west of Channing, Texas, near Route 385. So this is radar indicated rotation now, not on the ground at the moment. So once again, a tornado warning near Channing, Texas. So if you are in this area, seek shelter now on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Also, that might be hail contamination near Borger, Texas. But either way, whether hail or rotation, seek shelter on the lowest floor of a sturdy building to protect yourself from that hail and those damaging winds. These storms, either this or the next line, is going to be what comes through and will cause what we are expecting, which is a derecho. Okay, so this storm near Nacogdoches, hopefully I'm saying that right, Texas, just to the east of there near Center, Texas, north of St. Augustine, or San Augustine, sorry. That has 70-mile-an-hour winds with it, according to the National Weather Service, and lime-sized hail. So that is approaching Center, Texas right now. So, looks like that is a decently populated area. So, yeah, Center, Texas has 5,000 people. So, we need to get all of them either prepared to be in their shelter or in their shelter right now. So if you are just tuning in, we are live covering a level 4 out of 5 moderate risk of severe weather. You can see that categorical risk and what areas are included in what risk. It is the lower image in the top right of your screen, and the top is what the storm should look like in the next couple hours when they approach the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area. So that is what we are keeping an eye on. But I'm going to leave the reflectivity on the radar like this. I've got to be right back for just a second. But we'll leave it up here where we've got some storms going on. So I'll be right back. Just give me a minute or two, everybody. We'll write BRB on the screen. If you do have any questions, be sure to leave them in chat, and I will get back to them when I am back. That was a terrible R, but BRB. If you are just tuning in, be sure to like the stream and consider subscribing to the channel, as it does help me out a lot. Thank you. Alright, I am back. Sorry about that, everyone. And I would like to apologize in advance if it's a little laggy, the radar omega. You can see how the frames are kind of low, and that might bring us some lag to the stream, but I can always mirror my iPad, and that should hopefully be less laggy. I might actually try that in just a second, but for now, we'll just deal with this. But later down the road, when we're constantly jumping between storms and looking at them, it'll be nice to have something where we can zoom around quickly. That radar north of here was picking up some monster hail. Let's see which one. I want this one. Look how much the Frederick, Oklahoma radar, look how intense it thinks this storm is near Stephenville or Stephenville. What am I betting? Reed is going to get hit by a giant wind gust and get stuck in a ditch? I don't know if it'll be a wind gust, and I'm not going to place my amount, but I'd imagine that if he were to get stuck, hopefully he doesn't, but it would probably be more likely to him getting excited over baseballs, and then him getting out and mud, like the car just, or the Dominator seeps into the mud, and then it's stuck. Hello, Evans Weather Forecast. Thanks for tuning in. It's great to see you here in our live stream for severe weather this afternoon. The time is currently 6:01 p.m. Central, 5:01 p.m. Mountain, 7:01 p.m. Eastern. We still have a severe thunderstorm watch and tornado watch. These are in effect for another 3 hours. For portions of North Carolina, much of Virginia, this includes Washington, D.C., portions of Maryland. So this is a tornado watch, so we'll also keep an eye on this. But I think those storms have probably reached their peak for this afternoon. We have a severe thunderstorm warning. This is near south of Silver Cliff, Colorado, for quarter-sized hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds. If anyone has any questions, please let me know in the live chat. We do have a 70-mile-an-hour wind tag for a considerable severe thunderstorm warning moving through the Joplin, Missouri area, and that actually might have some, I think that has some pretty large and significant rotation on it. Just to the south of there, near Loma Linda, Leewood, Shoal Creek Estates, and Dennis Acres. So be prepared to seek shelter for those damaging winds, half-dollar sized hail, and that rotation. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning for Canton, Oklahoma, for ping-pong ball sized hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds. We're just going to be hopping between these different storms, taking a look at all of them, and going over them so we can keep as many people up to date and aware. this storm to the east of Lubbock, Texas, that's got some damaging winds with it just to the east of Crosbyton along Highway 82. So if you're traveling along Highway 82, be prepared for those winds. And that ping pong ball sized hail, that is decently large hail, that can do some damage to your vehicle, some hail dents, and potentially shatter windows. You had lightning strike 3 or 4 feet away from your house, and it shook your house twice. The thunder was super loud. That sounds pretty scary. I'm glad that you didn't get hit. At 4 a.m., that would definitely wake me up. And typically, I don't get woken up too easily. I'm glad that didn't hit you, because that can cause all sort of problems with appliances, and if you're outside, it could even hurt you. We do have a flash flood warning. This one is near... Well, let me click on it because of our severe warnings. Okay, this is radar indicated, in effect for about another 3 hours. This flash flood warning is for northeastern Carson County and the panhandle of Texas. All these counties are in the panhandle of Texas, I'll just say that right now. West central Gray County and southeastern Hutchinson County until 9 p.m. Central Daylight Time. About 10 minutes ago, Doppler radar indicated thunderstorms producing heavy rain across the warned area. Between 1 and 2 inches of rain have fallen, and they're expecting another 1 to 3. So be prepared for that if you are in those areas. Check on this special weather statement. Oh, we're not going to look over there right now. Let me see if I can hide this. But getting back to our coverage, we do still have a radar indicated tornado warning here near Channing, Texas, but seeing that on that severe thunderstorm warning that they just recently issued, they did not put a tornado possible tag. I don't think we'll see them reissue that tornado warning. I think we are losing that rotation slowly but surely. So if you are just tuning in, we are live for severe weather coverage. We are expecting a derecho-like event. It'll probably be classified as a derecho, but we do have a PDS severe thunderstorm watch, which is extremely rare if you don't know. Let me get that pulled up. Okay, so here is the PDS watch. You can see what areas are included in that. So that stretches from all the way just east of Clovis, New Mexico, south to Abilene, and just to the southwest of the Oklahoma City metro. So this is what we are going to be live covering. The event isn't even really getting started yet. Well, let's check out this new mesoscale discussion. This is for portions of west central Oklahoma, includes the OKC metro. The severe wind and hail threat will continue this afternoon, both with more discrete storms and merging clusters. So those merging clusters of storms, where the storms aren't discrete, meaning that when the storms are discrete, they're far apart and they have the environment to themselves, but when they come close together, they don't have as much potential to produce a tornado, and they're oftentimes a lot weaker. At some point, we may have to end this stream and come back later. I suppose now, while it's a little bit more calm, we should go over our outlooks for the next couple days. So obviously, first we'll go over today's outlook, where we do have that moderate risk for damaging winds with a 45% hatched damaging wind risk for portions along the Red River in southern Oklahoma and north central Texas. That includes the Dallas-Fort Worth metro. So if we read the summary, a severe weather outbreak is expected across the southern plains today, including southern Oklahoma and much of the northwest and north Texas. A few tornadoes, destructive wind gusts of 80 to 100 miles per hour, which is our main threat today. So that's the summary for today's outlook. Tomorrow we do have two separate slight risks of severe weather, one for portions of West Texas and eastern New Mexico. And tomorrow we do have two separate 2% tornado risks, so we could see an isolated brief tornado in those areas. That stretches to western Mississippi all the way through the coast of North Carolina, and another one for portions of the northeast in Ohio, southwestern New York, and western Pennsylvania. So that 15% risk, both of those slight risks are for damaging winds. You can see where those 15% risks are plotted. If I were to end this stream, it would probably be ended in the next 30 minutes. So that would be around 6:45 p.m. Central Daylight Time, or maybe sooner. And I'd probably come back by 8 or whenever those storms really start to live up to the potential that we've been forecasting for. Hello, Jack. Welcome into the stream. Thank you for tuning in. Okay, now Radar Omega is showing that PDS tag for our severe thunderstorm watch. You can see it right there. So that watch is in effect until 11 p.m. this evening, Central Daylight Time. But if you're just joining us, we are covering a moderate risk of severe weather. You can't see it on the side because the images cover it, but we have one tornado warning. That expires in 3 minutes near Channing, Texas. And we have 25 severe thunderstorm warnings. Currently, none of those are destructive, but we do have quite a few considerable ones for 70-mile-per-hour winds. That looks like developing rotation to the north of San Augustine, Texas, and it's moving south. So let's see if reflectivity will load. Okay, that might be hail contamination, but we're going to keep an eye on it. Looks like some significant damaging winds. I'd say that's probably upwards of 60 miles per hour, maybe 70. It's warned for 50 to 55, but I think that they could upgrade that to a severe thunderstorm warning for 70 mile per hour winds. Considerable damage threat. I think that would be pretty reasonable. I don't know if that's rotation. It kind of looks like hail contamination, because of how large those hailstones are near Canton, Oklahoma. So continue to seek shelter away from windows in Canton, Oklahoma, or if you're north or east of Oakwood, or to the northwest of Watonga, and that is coming for you in Watonga. So in Watonga, Oklahoma, be prepared to seek shelter. I'd say you need to be in your safe spot in the next 5 minutes, because that is very large hail. The viewership on this stream has been crazy. We have 14 people watching, and typically I think we average 3 to 7. So I appreciate all of you who have tuned in this afternoon. Is 200 SRH a good amount? It's not that much, but we do have a lot of CAPE today. The SRH is one of our lacking factors today. So it depends on the other aspects of the setup. There's so many different things you have to look at, but I'd say for most it's not, and that's going to really limit our tornado potential today, in my opinion. A lot of contamination with this storm, especially on the velocity in the Joplin area in Missouri. I think soon I'm going to try mirroring the iPad to the computer for this stream, because I think that'll be a lot less laggy. And we'll be able to zoom around Radar Omega much quicker, because on the computer sometimes it struggles a little bit. We're going to go ahead and give that a try. Alright, see how much smoother it runs on here? We'll stick with this for a bit. But I think Clinton, Oklahoma has a pretty significant population along Interstate 40, so that hail is going towards you guys. So please seek shelter in Clinton, Oklahoma. You need to be in your safe spot in the next 5 minutes, especially on the west side of town. So this is going to go on low risk for us in Alabama, because it ain't getting to us till midnight or wee hours of morning. It will be a lot weaker by the time it gets to you. I don't remember what exact town you are in, but I think it's over here in western Alabama. I think it starts with an L. Remind me or correct me if I'm wrong. But right now, you are in the marginal risk of severe weather. So, and that is for wind and hail. You do not have a tornado risk right now. It's less than 2%. Oh. Okay. I'm not 100% sure where that is, I'm going to be honest with you, so let's look it up in Radar Omega. Oh, it's in eastern Alabama. I don't know why I thought you were in western. So over there, you are still in the marginal risk. So same hazards that I went over for western Alabama. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning near Mammoth Lakes. That's in California. It's very hard to view this storm with all the mountains that block the radar. It looks like this storm is pretty much stationary, which we see a lot. Yeah. National Weather Service also stated that the storm is nearly stationary, so the hazard is quarter-sized hail, damaging winds. Not too big of a threat with that. But obviously, we have bigger problems over here in the southern plains and portions of the Midwest. William, did something happen to your mod, or are you on a different account? I just noticed that you don't have it right now. Okay, we have a tornado warning. This is that rotation that we talked about 5 or 10 minutes ago. Turns out that the National Weather Service also believes that it was not hail contamination, so I'd consider that a pretty good call out, but that's not what I'm worried about right now. We need to get all these people in their safe spots. So near Watonga, Oklahoma, you can see that rotation just to the west of town. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Well, I know it's you, so I'll make you a moderator on there too. Okay, so this is golf ball sized hail and radar indicated rotation. This is for southwestern Kingfisher County in Oklahoma, southern Blaine County in Oklahoma, and northwestern Canadian County until 6:45 p.m. Central Daylight Time. That's for another 25 minutes. So if you're in Watonga, especially west of town, you need to be in your safe spot. We do have developing rotation in your area. New severe thunderstorm warning near Gardner, Colorado. That is a very low end severe thunderstorm warning, but that is for quarter-sized hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds. And that severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 5:45 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. But I think I want to focus on our storm here near Watonga, Oklahoma. When we talked about this storm earlier, you can see on previous frames, like right over here, it was really difficult to tell because it kind of split off and the radar wasn't picking it up very well. So it could have been hail contamination, but then by the time it got to this scan, we kind of knew, and then this is the scan that prompted them to issue that tornado warning, and I think that is a good call. So and that is our only tornado warning that we do have in effect at the moment. I wouldn't be surprised to see something on the ground here soon. And I do not like to have to say that, but that is the reality, that this rotation is getting stronger. Thankfully, this is definitely not a CC drop up there. That is hail contamination, so no confirmation of anything on the ground from our correlation coefficient, which is good news. Looks like some pretty strong winds going through just east of Skiatook, Oklahoma, near Collinsville now. Derecho threat encompassing much more population than twisters tonight, but that one is twister material. Yes, this storm over here with our tornado warning, it's not fully discrete, but it's got a little bit of space from the storms. It's ahead of the line slightly, but something might happen in here, and mergers can either really strengthen a storm or they can both die out. Hopefully they do die out, but you can never be for certain. It's Skytook? Okay. I wasn't 100% sure. I try my best with the town names, but every once in a while there's a mess up. Let me know what you all viewers, everyone thinks in the chat. But I think that, because right now I'm doing the screen mirroring for my iPad, I think Radar Omega is much less laggy when we do it this way rather than the computer. The only reason it's a little bit laggy here is because it's wirelessly mirroring from my iPad to the computer, and the computer is relaying that to OBS. So through that process, it gets a little bit slow. Once again, we haven't been talking about this very much, but there is a tornado watch, which includes much of Virginia, stretching from just south of Richmond, Virginia, through Martinsburg, Virginia. I don't know if we're going to get a good radar on this storm up here in northern New Mexico. But based off how far it is and it's showing some hail, I think the Pueblo, Colorado radar does the best with this. So that's near Hogback Butte. Some pretty large hail. So that is north of Route 56. And that is pretty much stationary. Moving probably east, but very slowly. Let's see what the National Weather Service has to say about it. This storm was stationary. Okay, so it's not moving. But that's to the east of Springer, New Mexico. The very hilly and mountainous terrain here, with all those buttes in New Mexico, makes it really difficult for those radars to get through. But I think the Pueblo one does the best because it's pretty flat in that area of southern Colorado. That radar is 140 miles away in Pueblo, and the one in Albuquerque is 180. The one in Amarillo is 150, so the Pueblo one is the closest, but this is warned by the National Weather Service of Amarillo. So yes, the coverage is very sparse out here in northern New Mexico and the Oklahoma, Texas panhandle up here near Boise City. We have gained 2 subscribers this stream, so I appreciate those of you tuning in, liking the stream, hanging out, even just talking in the live chat or watching, being a silent viewer. You don't have to subscribe or anything. It all helps out. Okay, so this is very odd. These are both the same National Weather Service office. Both of these 2 polygons are from National Weather Service Albuquerque, but look at this one up here. It just barely includes anything. Maybe I'm curious if their radar shows something up there, because I don't think that area really needs it, because that storm is pretty much stationary. It's not going anywhere. Let's check in on our storm near Watonga, Oklahoma. That rotation is getting stronger to the west, just barely to the southwest of town. So continue to seek shelter if you're west, especially southwest of Watonga, Oklahoma, or west of Greenfield, because this is moving south. You're in Oklahoma City. So in Oklahoma City right now, we're not seeing any precipitation or storms, but I'm sure if you look off to your west, you can see this big line, which, if you look at the image in the top right, It looks like the HRRR did a decent job forecasting that. But eventually down the line, Interstate 40, if you're traveling on Interstate 40 between, I'd say, Bridgeport and El Reno, you need to be prepared to be under a tornado warning. And in Oklahoma City, we're going to be expecting some damaging winds. This storm coming towards you guys has the tornado possible tag. There is the potential that this storm does produce a tornado. There's also ping pong ball sized hail currently ongoing and 70-mile-per-hour winds, and that is near Watonga. So this storm, according to National Weather Service, is moving southeast at 25 miles per hour. So if we calculate that, according to Radar Omega, this storm will be in El Reno in approximately 84 minutes, Mustang in 125 minutes, and Oklahoma City in 143, but that is subject to change because that storm might speed up or slow down a little bit. It's much easier to draw circles when I do this. Like, watch, that's a decently good circle because I'm mirroring the iPad to the stream. Because when I do it on the computer, it's a lot harder to draw circles with the cursor. And I know that sounds really silly, but it truly is a lot easier. So this is our only tornado warning that we have in effect right now. Our previously tornado warned storm pretty much completely lost its rotation south of Channing, Texas. So if we go back, let's go back to about 30 minutes ago. You could see that rotation was dying out. This is about when they dropped the tornado warning, and now it's just gone. So definitely don't need a new warning issued for that. If you are just tuning in, we do have 18 viewers currently, and 9 people have liked the stream. So if you are enjoying or you found this helpful, it would help me out if you like the stream, as it does show this to more people on YouTube. I hate to ask, but it is the best way that you can help me out. Holy cow, 25 people watching. That is a record. Previously it was 17, which was in this stream. 25 people watching is insane. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. But we're going to focus on this storm near Watonga. This is what I'm most concerned about right now. Very large hail just to the west of town near Russworm Street. Multiple pixels of 70 plus dBz. So that is above golf ball sized hail for sure. If there's a severe thunderstorm warning with this again soon, I wouldn't be surprised to see destructive severe thunderstorm warning. So whether we're going to have a tornado or not, you need to be in your basement or storm shelter. But if you're west of Watonga in this pink, purple, or blue, it's unless your shelter is attached to your building and you don't have to go outdoors to get to it, please do not go to your shelter because that hail could injure you. So at this point, just get to your basement or away from windows in a hallway, because that is very large, damaging hail. I don't know how the severe thunderstorm warning for this is only for ping pong ball sized hail. No hate to the National Weather Service, but they need to upgrade this ASAP because that hail is really just getting larger. I mean, look at it over the past few scans. We are live earlier than most people right now, but that is just for some pre-coverage because this isn't even the main event, but it is already pretty active right now. On the Oklahoma City radar, the storm near Paducah, Texas, looks like it has huge hail, but if you go to a closer radar, it is still pretty large, but it's more widespread. But that is actually, I think the Oklahoma City radar is right. So we're going to go back to 7 frames. Look at that storm near Paducah. I don't know how that is quarter-sized hail. That is at least that should be large apple-sized hail warned at the minimum. So seek shelter now in Paducah, Texas. That is huge hail, and we may even have some rotation near Route 70 to the east of town. I keep hearing static from the microphone. Must be due to a weak connection, and I keep thinking it's the Radar Omega tornado warning noise. I need to check PayPal because I haven't at all, and I would feel really bad if I missed a donation, because we need to get those on the dono board. Okay, we didn't miss any. That is good. But once again, okay, now tennis ball sized hail is what this is warned for. So getting closer, getting up there. So in Paducah, Texas, or especially to the northeast of town, you need to be away from windows. At this point, a basement, because that hail, it's 100% certain going to shatter windshields, and if it hits a window at the right angle, it'll destroy that shingles. But at this point, you can't worry about property. You just need to get yourself in a safe spot, because that hail is huge. I don't even know what to say about it at a certain point. Because at the end of the day, it is much more important to protect yourself than your property, because you can't be replaced, but the property can. I'm going to dip out from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., but definitely be back at 8. Alright, sounds good. And between 7 and 8, we'll probably be ending this live stream. I mean, I did have plans to end it in 10 minutes, but I'd feel really bad leaving. Okay. I would feel really bad leaving with that large of hail, so I'm going to try my best to be able to stay on. But this is now a destructive storm for Paducah, Texas. National Weather Service in Norman has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Ford County in northern Texas, Knox County in northern Texas, southwestern Wilbarger County in northern Texas, and northwestern Baylor County in northern Texas. This is through 7:15 p.m. These are destructive storms for Crowell, Truscott, Gilliland, Benjamin, and Vera. 80-mile-an-hour wind gusts and baseball-sized hail. So this is the storm just moving out of Paducah. I apologize about the static from the microphone. I'm trying to adjust the cable to make it get a little bit better. It seems like it's whenever I touch the screen. I don't know if there's a weak connection or something. I don't want to unplug it completely, because the last time that I unplugged the microphone during a stream, it ended the stream because there was no audio output. It was really weird. So I'm not going to tamper with it right now because everyone can hear me, so that's good. But this hail is huge. Look at this hail near Jacobs. That is, let's see how big we can. 78 dBz near Jacobs. I'm going to text Davis a screenshot of that. So if you are just tuning in, there is a destructive severe thunderstorm warning for Paducah, Texas, and Crowell for this storm approaching. The National Weather Service sees the potential, and they've issued that destructive severe thunderstorm warning, even though that storm is nowhere near that area yet, because they've seen how intense that is. Do I think they'll issue a tornado watch? The main areas... Here, I'm going to pull up. We're going to turn off the radar for a second. Because if we pull up our 5% tornado risk, you'll notice the majority of the areas in that 5% tornado risk are already under a severe thunderstorm watch. So maybe when this expires, it'll be necessary, but I think it's unlikely. Some pretty strong winds near Claremore, Oklahoma now, approaching I-44. I'm surprised they haven't put out any severe thunderstorm warnings for that yet, but my main concern for these storms right now is the one near Paducah, Texas, and the one near Watonga, Oklahoma. If you look at velocity, some very strong rotation. I wouldn't say very strong. Looks like it might have weakened a little bit over the past 5 scans, but that tornado warning does continue for Greenfield north of Bridgeport on I-40. That is approaching El Reno, so be prepared to get into your safe spot down the line. This is your advanced warning. We have a storm moving into the Amarillo, Texas area for ping pong ball size hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds. So Amarillo is a very significantly populated area. You've got time before this storm comes to you, so you need to do what you need to do right now. But this is moving southeast at 35 miles an hour. So if we calculate that, should be in Amarillo. Radar Omega estimates the next 63 minutes, but I honestly think it could be 45 because that storm is moving pretty quick. So don't wait. You still have time to bring your cars inside. The hail won't hit you, but you need to be prepared to get into your safe spot. Here's something I'm going to show you all. See this line right here near Canyon? That is not precipitation. But when the storms go across this, watch what happens if we go back. Watch the line and watch the storms. They just explode as soon as they hit this. See those storms right now? That was about an hour ago. They just explode once they hit that. So, yeah. When I do end the stream, I'll probably eat, and I'm going to put everything on charge so we can be ready for our stream later, because the iPad is sitting at 40 and the computer around 60, and I've got microphones and stuff plugged in, so I don't have any open ports to charge. So that'll be when I charge them. If you're east of Paducah, south of Route 70 or Highway 70 in Texas, I actually do have some family friends out here that I'll be needing to text soon. But I'm mainly worried about just east of Paducah, Texas. Will I post a notification in advance of the next stream? I'll try to make a community post about it. What I'll try to do is I'll try to schedule the next stream. But when I was on mute, I ate a quick snack, so I might honestly just stay on and we'll see if this can be our longest stream ever. That'll be the challenge. We've already been going. We've been live for an hour and 6 minutes right now. as of right now. But things will need to charge here eventually in my setup. But just look at this hail core right in there. That's right, we're going to be pulling a streaming marathon. Feels like it's only 2 o'clock for me because I got back from Hawaii yesterday and they're 4 hours behind. So it doesn't feel like it's been. I don't feel tired today. I think our longest stream ever was either the 2 hour and 10-minute one, but there was like a 20-minute period where I had to be. Oh no, our longest stream ever was 2 hours and 32 minutes, and that was on December 28th, 2024. Let's see if we can beat it. We're already about halfway there. We just need motivation. I don't know if I've mentioned it a single time this stream, but donations are completely optional but greatly appreciated. You can see the top donor board in the top left, so you'll be placed on the leaderboard for this stream. And if I do end the stream and come back later, the dono board will be the same since it's the same day, so it'll be more like today. Alright, sounds good, William. Thank you for tuning in and sticking around and talking in the live chat. Streaming's a lot more fun when you can interact with the viewers, because it's kind of boring when you don't know what to say, you can't answer people's questions. But we do have a new tornado warning, so that is for Greenfield, Oklahoma, Bridgeport, Calumet, I'm probably saying that wrong, and that includes portions of I-40 just to the north of Hinton. So this is... You don't have to, William. It's all good. You know, those are completely optional. It's completely up to you. So this tornado warning is just to the west of Reno, Oklahoma, and this is radar indicated right now. But we should take a look at velocity, and there you go. That rotation is really wrapping up to the west of Greenfield. I would like to point out that was a perfect circle. I would like to quickly say thank you everyone for the great support on this stream. We have gained 3 subscribers. Typically, I think the most we've ever gotten in a stream was 5. And typically, like, it doesn't matter the subscribers, but I really do appreciate the support, because it does let me know that this is a career option for me one day. Oh, might be getting some hail soon. Oh, the feedback on the microphone is getting really bad. I think I might be able to fix it. The microphone might get really quiet, We're gonna try it. Oh, that's interesting. Severe thunderstorm warning right by me. Okay, we're going to, I'm gonna fix the microphone really quick. Hopefully this works, and if it doesn't, alright, I'm gonna make the switch in 3, 2, 1. Do we still have static, or are we better? Alright, sounds good, William. Thank you for tuning in. And I hope to see you back here soon. Alright, the static is fixed. I'm glad I got that resolved. Let's get back to the iPad radar. I don't know if I'm crazy, but we might have 2 separate areas of rotation near Weatherford and Thomas, Oklahoma. Sounds good, William. Thank you for tuning in. If you are just tuning in and you have any questions, feel free to let me know in the live chat. Any questions for the weather in your area, because I am happy to answer. I will to the best of my ability. But fun fact, this stream has gotten more views than any other one. Our previously most viewed stream was, it had, let's see, was the Greensburg, Kansas tornado emergency stream with 382 views. This one has 456, so thank you for the support, everyone, in making our most popular stream this afternoon. If you've tuned in, you helped out. It's going to be a while before these storms get to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but that is when they will be pretty strong. I will be right back, everyone. Just bear with me for a moment while I grab a charger. Okay, I am back. Once again, if you do have any questions for your location, just drop a zip code or a county, but if you drop a county, be sure to include the state so I know which state to be looking for, or a region of a state, like for example, southern Oklahoma, or a city. I'm glad we got that static solved, though. Let me check it on the live chat. Hey, Severe Weather, thanks for tuning in. It's great to see you. But if you are just joining us, it's been a second since we did an overview. But we have a tornado warning near Bridgeport and Greenfield, Oklahoma, with some pretty strong rotation. So seek shelter now if you're south of Greenfield or west of Calumet or in Calumet, and if you are in Bridgeport, especially north of there. But anywhere in that red polygon. This storm also does have some pretty large hail with it. It's hard to tell where the rotation is when we have hail contamination on the velocity because of how large the hail is. And we are continuing to have very large hail to the southeast of Paducah, Texas. And this storm is moving relatively quick. So this will be near Benjamin, Texas soon. It's moving southeast at 45 miles per hour. But I think that's closer to 50. So we're going to calculate that. Should be in Benjamin in the next 36 minutes, according to Radar Omega. My day is going pretty well. How about yours? It's always a good day when I get to be live streaming doing severe weather coverage because I come on here, and when I do that, I enjoy it because it's fun and I get to help out and relay accurate information. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning now. They finally put one out. No hate to the National Weather Service, but this storm has had 60-mile-an-hour winds, according to radar, for a while. That's near Claremore on I-44 near Pryor Creek. So be prepared for some gusty winds, and there's also 0.88 inch hail. So that's nickel-sized. We do have our destructive storm, which is for Knox County, Texas, Ford, Texas, Baylor, and Wilbarger. I'm not 100% sure on the pronunciation of that. So if you are just tuning in, please consider liking the stream, as it does help me out. It does help push this stream further into the algorithm. It is completely optional though. It's free, it takes 2 seconds. We currently are at 16 likes and 14 viewers. So thank you everybody. Even if you just watch, that helps out too. I'll show you all something. You can notice how much more laggy. So this is Radar Omega on the computer. You can notice how the frames are pretty low. But then when I do it, when I mirror the iPad to the computer for the stream, you'll notice it runs very solid. It might come across a little bit laggy on the stream just because it's screen mirroring, but this is much more smooth. It looks a little bit choppy just because it's screen mirroring, but I promise you, on the iPad it looks pretty good. It's very hard to tell if we have rotation or if that's just hail contamination, but they do have that tornado possible tag near Crowell, Texas. We have 20 people watching. Wow. Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you are enjoying the stream, please consider liking it and subscribing to the channel. And donations are completely optional but greatly appreciated. The PayPal is in the pin message, but we're going to focus on our severe weather coverage. There is very strong rotation near Greenfield, Oklahoma now, and those are damaging winds. I'd say probably above 70 miles an hour. I did see that severe thunderstorm warning. I pointed out earlier with those special weather statements. I was surprised they didn't issue it earlier, because if we go back, we'll go on the 21 frames, if I can click it right. You can see how strong those winds were. That's like probably 14 frames ago. I don't know why, but I take random screenshots of things on radar. No thank you, Siri. What's up, Camp? Go to Texas. Are you talking about this storm? Earlier, take a look at this earlier. When we first noticed it, it was warned for quarter-sized hail. This was when it was warned for quarter-sized hail. We called that out, that it needs to be warned for something higher. And it also does have a hook on it. Are you talking about the hook on this storm? Because there is definitely significant rotation in there. Maybe multiple little pockets, but it's so hard to tell with the hail contamination. Are you talking about that storm or a different one? The one with the tennis ball sized hail and tornado possible. Let's see. Oh yeah, it does have some hook action going on there. Okay, so once again, Camp, thank you for pointing that out, because we've been focusing on the hailstorms, but most people forget today does have the potential for some tornadoes. So that is south of Spur, Texas, to the west of Jayton. So that is strong rotation approaching. That is near State Highway 208. That hook is crazy. You can really see how it just developed in the past 10 minutes on our reflectivity. I'm still shocked that we have 18 viewers in here. Thank you to everyone who tuned in, because I appreciate every single one of you being here and watching. We also have this one storm out here, which is pretty discreet near Midland, Texas. Although, if we were to be able to see some rotation on the radar, well, we can't right now because of how close it is. Look at all that contamination. But I will tell you, heavy rain and some small hail with that, actually ping pong ball size, and that may be increasing. So we're going to keep an eye on that. And we can't forget about our tornado warning near El Reno and Bridgeport, Oklahoma. Some, I'd argue, still just as strong of rotation to the northwest of Bridgeport, about 10 miles to the northwest of Bridgeport, Oklahoma. So once again, if you are in Greenfield, especially south of Greenfield, or Bridgeport, Calumet, Oklahoma, to the east, northeast of Weatherford, you need to be in your safe spot, seeking shelter immediately. I don't think there's any rotation at all, maybe barely a little bit on that storm in Colorado near Elbert. This storm has been warned for lime-sized hail, 70-mile-an-hour winds, and a tornado possible for what seems like forever at this point. And that is near San Augustine, Texas. They've probably been under a severe thunderstorm warning the entire time that we've been live. We need to keep an eye on this hook out here. Which storm was it? Was this? No, it was the tennis ball sized hail one. Well, that one that we were talking about near Paducah, they do have a tornado warning on it now. You can see that rotation that really developed. That's approaching Seymour and Benjamin, Texas. So if you're in Seymour, Benjamin, north of Gorey or Monday, Texas, you need to be seeking shelter. Even if you're not in the path of this rotation, there's large apple-sized hail, so you need to be in your safe spot. This is for southern Ford County in northern Texas, northern Knox County, and northwestern Baylor County. Apple-sized hail is crazy, but I think that is the proper tag for it, because that hail looks huge. I need to switch over to the computer for just a second. I've got to put this iPad in a different spot to put it on the charger for a bit. So we're going to experience some dropped frames for just a little bit, and I apologize about that. New confirmed tour. Is this the one near Paris, Texas? Okay, observed tornado warning, emergency management confirmed. So that's near Windham and Honey Grove, Texas. We do have some rotation with that. So if you are in Windham or Honey Grove, Roxton or Ladonia, hopefully I said those all right. That is in Texas. Seek shelter now on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. There is a confirmed tornado on the ground. I'm not sure which radar is the best to use for this. I think Norman issued this morning. No, Fort Worth. Yeah, it's really hard to see, but emergency management did confirm it, so you do need to be in your safe spot. Just because of how populated of an area this storm is in, we'll keep this on that storm. It's nice because on my iPad I'm not logged into Radar Omega. Even though I do have an account, I can't use the premium features because I need to reset my password to be able to log in on there. But on my computer we can use the dual screen because I am logged in. I will be right back. Just a second, everyone. Just give me a minute or two. B-R. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned for more live severe weather coverage. We're just going to be a second. Here, we'll actually, instead of drawing in Radar Omega, I'll type a message on the screen. There, be right back. Alright, just a second, everyone. Alright, I apologize about that, everyone. Just had to take care of something, but as long as we're able to be live for a while, that is good, because I'd rather have one long stream with a couple parts where I have to be right back, rather than many where I have to restart it every time that I'm going to be right back. But we do have a new tornado warning. I think this one's new. Yes, it is. That is very strong rotation, actually. Okay, looks like the microphone cut out for a second, but we're back. So that is strong rotation. No, I think this tornado warning was already in effect. I don't know what I'm thinking. But still, near Jayton, Texas, seek shelter now on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Basement or storm shelter is best, or a closet or a hallway away from windows if you don't have a basement or storm shelter. Oh, it's new? I got confused about which storms had the warnings on them and which ones didn't. I don't think we got any new tornado warnings while I was gone. But look at how big that severe thunderstorm warning polygon is. Near Oklahoma City. That's tornado possible tag, ping pong ball sized hail, and 70-mile-an-hour winds. So get ready if you're in Oklahoma City. Hope you are all enjoying this stream, this live severe weather coverage for Durant. My balloon for graduation keeps scraping against the wall. Sorry about that. If you hear background noise, that's what it is. Oh, that doxes me a little bit, but I want to take a look at that special weather statement. So if you are just tuning in, we'll do a little recap. Let's go over to Google. Today we do have the potential for a derecho with significant damaging winds up to 100 miles an hour, 80 to 100 miles an hour, damaging large hail upwards of 5 inches, and even the potential for a couple tornadoes. So you can see that moderate risk, that's our main risk area. These storms will move into the Dallas-Fort Worth area overnight, but I also want to go over our outlooks for the next couple days. Tomorrow we do have 2 separate slight risks. These are both wind-driven. And then on day 3 we do have 3 separate marginal risks of severe weather. One for portions of western and central Montana up to the Canada border. And this other one stretches from the eastern Georgia coast all the way up through New Jersey. And then this third marginal risk goes from southern New Mexico all the way towards New Orleans, Louisiana. You can see I had this pulled up from earlier, so this is a couple hours old now. But 86, 87, 90 knots. For thunderstorms to fire, we typically need 40. We have more than double of that in play today for our severe weather. And you can see this is where those storms are projected to be. I think this is about right now. This is what we're looking at right now. And if we go a couple hours ahead, that's around when they'll be in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. If you do have any questions for your location, feel free to let me know in the live chat. That is what we are looking at as of right now. If you are new around here, it would mean a lot to me if you subscribe to the channel. It is completely optional though, but that does help out a lot. We have been live for 1 hour and 40 minutes. If you didn't hear me earlier, I'm going for the longest stream ever on this channel. Right now, the longest stream ever on this channel that we've done was 2 hours and 32 minutes. And that was on December 28th, 2024. So that was 2 hours, 32 minutes. And currently, we are at 1 hour and 40 minutes, 32 seconds. So we're going to try to beat it. We've got another hour left, but we'll go as long as I can and as long as we are needed. Hey kids, Storm Coverage, thank you for tuning in to the stream. Right now we are at 17 likes. Let's see if we can hit 20 likes this stream. But if we don't, 17 is already crazy enough, so I appreciate everyone who has helped contribute to that. We have 19 people watching, which is like a record. We've averaged between 10 to 25 viewers this stream, and typically we have between 3 to 5, so if I sound really happy about it, it's because I am. I'm just really shocked how many viewers we have. They did drop that tornado warning near El Reno and Bridgeport. I guess that rotation did kind of fizzle out a little bit, but we'll be watching for anything that does develop again. We are currently 1 subscriber away from 1,540, and that is pretty cool. We currently have 3 tornado warnings in effect, 20 severe thunderstorm warnings. Let's see, what else? But we do still have an observed tornado warning near Honey Grove, Texas. According to emergency management, that is still on the ground. You need to be in your safe spot right now. We should focus on this since it is on the ground. It's very hard to see the rotation on the radar with this storm, but we'll watch for it. So even if this is no longer on the ground, just because of how hard it is to see this storm on radar, I'm going to treat it as if it is, and you all should too. If you do have a question for your location in chat, you can just put a county, but if you do put a county, make sure to put your state so I'm not confused on which area to look at, because sometimes multiple states have the same county. You could also do a zip code or an area of state, like for example, southern Oklahoma, or you could say like a nearby big city, and I'll try my best to give a forecast for your area, but obviously don't dox yourself, don't put anything too local. So if you are just joining us, let me do another quick overview. I'm gonna mirror my... No, I'm not gonna mirror my phone to the stream. I need to have that for reading chat. Actually, here's what I can do. I'm going to... No, that would mess up the stream. We'll just do it on the computer even if it's a little bit laggy. But we currently have a tornado warning, so seek shelter if you are in Seymour, Benjamin, Texas, or in Joplin, Texas. We also have some radar indicated rotation there, and I guess we still have a confirmed tornado on the ground, but I'd imagine that has likely lifted by now, near Honey Grove, Texas. It's really hard to tell with the radar out there, but law enforcement did confirm that. A confirmed tornado, emergency management, not law enforcement, sorry. We did it. We hit 1,540 subscribers. Thank you to everyone who subscribed and helped out. We're now at 1.54K. The support this stream has been absolutely awesome. Okay, so I remember talking about this about 30 minutes ago. I told everybody in Amarillo that they needed to prepare for this hail, and now is when you need to be seeking shelter. About 30 minutes ago, I said, okay, you can get your cars in or whatever, but now you need to be in your safe spot, especially if you're west of town. If you're in the airport, try to avoid being outside because that is pretty large hail coming. It's warned for quarter size, but I think we could see ping pong ball or $half size with that storm. It wouldn't surprise me. We have a severe thunderstorm warning. This is north of Big Bend National Park. It's kind of hard to tell on the radar because this is pretty far out. Let's see, the closest radar, that's 160 miles away, but it is warned for ping pong ball sized hail, and it probably is that size. So seek shelter now if you are north of Big Bend National Park, especially along Route or State Highway 385. If you have a severe thunderstorm warning, this actually has the tornado possible tag on it near Pike National Forest in Colorado, near Lake George. So be prepared to seek shelter if a tornado warning is issued. You'll also want to be away from that hail and damaging winds with that storm. I'm not seeing... Okay, so they did drop that tornado warning near Roxton, Texas, and that severe warning doesn't even have the tornado possible tag on it. But we'll keep an eye on it. So these storms are getting ready. They're going for the Oklahoma City metro. So just in case a hail core or rotation with these does develop, this is your advanced warning in Oklahoma City, especially south of there where those storms will hit first. Be prepared to seek shelter and get your cars and everything indoors. If you are just tuning in, we currently have one tornado warning in effect, and that is for Kent and Stonewall County, Texas. If you do have any questions, please feel free to ask in the live chat. I'll answer to the best of my ability. And hopefully I'm able to help you out. That is, I'd say, that's pretty strong rotation near Joplin, Texas. Sorry about that, everyone. I had to mute my mic for a second, but we are still here. So we're going to continue our coverage. Because this event is just barely getting started. I wonder if we can do it all in one stream. I'm going to check in on the live chat. Feel free to message there. But we are just continuing our live severe weather coverage. We are coming up on 2 hours straight of being live. We have 18 viewers, so if you are just tuning in, we have one tornado warning right now for pretty strong rotation. You can see on the velocity right in there where that yellow, red, and green come together south of Jayton, Texas, or Jayton to the west of Aspermont. If you do find this stream helpful or you enjoy it, please consider liking the stream because it does help me out a lot. Even consider subscribing to the channel. And if you want to go above and beyond, PayPal is in the description and the pinned message. It does help me out. It just supports me and it helps with paying for the cost of Radar Omega and Radar Scope and hopefully more tools in the future. But that is completely optional. Still a tornado watch for much of Virginia, includes Richmond, for another hour and 28 minutes. We've got this severe thunderstorm warning near Ashland for 0.75 inch hail and 60 mile per hour winds. Hold on just a second. We're gonna fix this really quick. There we go. Now that's not a problem. We are expecting a derecho with strong damaging winds. That hasn't even really started yet. We just have that line of storms. But they will eventually come together. So they're gonna merge together. Those storms will eventually congeal into one big line. That tornado warning expires in 11 minutes. We'll see if they reissue it. But we've got our velocity right over here, and you see that white circle, that's where that rotation is, and you can see that hail on the reflectivity. I've circled both. Reflectivity is what you're seeing on the left side of your screen. Velocity is on the right. The velocity is a bit obstructed by those images in the top right. And the one image is the ARRR showing when those storms will be approaching the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area. And then we also have the current day one SBC outlook, which will be refreshed within the next hour. Probably sooner than that. We now have lime-sized hail and 70-mile-an-hour winds. So considerable damage threat near Stanton, Texas. Riding right along Interstate 20 at 45 miles per hour, moving towards Big Spring, Texas. So, according to radar, okay, so they just made that a little bit smaller, that severe warning, but that should be in Morita in the next 5 minutes and Big Spring in the next 18, according to Radar Omega. So that's what that's looking like for Big Spring. So bring your cars into shelter so that they won't get hail damage, and stay away from windows. I don't see too much rotation with this, but we'll be keeping an eye on it just in case anything does develop. And we are starting to see more of those flash flood warnings pop up. So we have a flash flood warning for the next 7 minutes. I guess this one's been here for storms the previous couple days. So that expires in a couple minutes, so we don't need to go over that one. This one's in effect for another 52 minutes. So if we read this, this is near Webb City, Oklahoma. The National Weather Service in Norman has issued a flash flood warning for east central K County in northern Oklahoma until 8:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time. So at 5:18 p.m., between 1 and 3 inches of rain has fallen, but they're expecting that to stop. You're back in the house. Welcome back. We ended up staying live. We did not end this stream. We've been live for 2 hours, 1 minute, and 7 seconds. The iPad battery got low, so we're back on the computer, so it might be a bit laggy for now, but it's charging and I want to save that battery for later, because I do not have an outlet at my setup at the moment that is free. So, welcome back, William. I think Davis and maybe Jesse, they're all getting ready to go live soon. But we've had a great stream. I'm just trying to break the record for our longest stream ever on this channel. But I remember in that 2 hour, 32 minute stream, there were probably like 20-minute time periods where I'd say be right back because I had to do stuff that day. So this is already one of our longest. Maybe we'll make it to 3 hours. I'm not sure how much longer after that, but I'd imagine there will be a second one. But this one's probably longer. We kind of covered the pre-event, but I don't know if there was really anybody else here for that other than some of the big names like Max. Max was live, I believe. Let me double check. Yeah, Max has been live. Yep, Max is live. So, this tornado warning expires in 4 minutes, which is near, well, the tornado warning is north of Roton, south of J10 in Texas, but the rotation is, pretty much, it's moving out of the polygon. I don't know how to say it, because it's kind of, but the radar, I don't know what is happening. Look at this last scan, that one looked normal, and then it just went crazy with this. I've never understood why it does that or what it means. I plan to at least hopefully still be live by the time these storms make it into the Oklahoma City area. I mean, they're already in the metro, but they're not in OKC itself yet. At least quite yet. But they're getting there. I'm curious what this does. Device. Oh, that's the face cam. Never used that before. I don't know if we have the room right now to do it. Here, let's test it out. I'll figure that out later, but this severe thunderstorm warning near Oklahoma City does expire in 1 minute south of El Reno. Not much rotation with that ever since those storms came together. William, you might remember when you were here earlier, this was the storm up here near Watonga, and that was back when it was kind of on its own. I'm going to go back. Here, if I go back, that's when that storm was really strong, and you can see how it really just washed out when the other storm came together with it. Mine aren't, but that is what is on the PayPal. So the E is correct. It's not registered under me though, but it does go to me. So those storms kind of merged, and it kind of killed it off with, it got rid of the rotation and all of that. We'll go on 30 frames. That's the furthest back I can go, like this. So you see, that's when that rotation was just dying out. That's probably around when the tornado warning expired, and it went away. So if you're asking in regards to the PayPal, because that is where I have the name, the initials are KE, but I am CE, so, but that's just what it's registered under. We've been live for 2 hours and 8 minutes. It's been a great stream so far, I would say. I'm trying to find reports because emergency management did confirm a tornado near, let's see, it was near Honey Grove, Texas, but we couldn't tell on the radar. It looked like there was no rotation, but it was so far away, it was hard to tell, so I couldn't be 100% sure. But if anyone does have any questions, feel free to post them in the live chat, and I'm happy to answer them for your location. I could probably melt chocolate on my computer right now with all the streaming stuff I've got on it. It gets really warm about 2 hours into a stream. So, once again, actually, not once again, I was going to go over our tornado warning again. That's gone. But we're going to treat this like a tornado warning near Seymour, Texas. This had a rotation with it earlier and a tornado warning, but now it's damaging winds of 80 miles an hour, so that does have the destructive tag on it with half-dollar sized hail. So treat this like a weak tornado. These are like hurricane force winds. Alright, the goat is back at it again. William with the $10 dono. That gets you the #1 spot on the dono board. Thank you, William. I really appreciate it. Let's get you up there in that #1 spot. If you would like to join William on the dono board, you can see the PayPal link in the pin message in chat or the description. Thank you, William. I really appreciate it. You're the goat. You're always here. Let's see how long we'll be live here. I think we'll be able to switch back to the iPad soon. Thank you, William, once again. I'm happy to be here and provide this coverage for everyone. And the viewership has been great this stream. So hopefully we've been able to alert some people of the severe weather. This storm has baseball-sized hail and 80-mile-an-hour winds. So we're going to take this storm very seriously. If you are north of Roby, Texas, seek shelter now. It'll be a little bit before the storm's there, but it doesn't hurt to get into your shelter early. You need to treat this like honestly treat it like a tornado warning. You need to be in your tornado safe spot. Especially if your shelter is not attached to the building you are currently in. Like if you have a house and back in your yard you have a storm shelter, run to it now before that hail is on top of you, because in Rotan or Rotan, R-O-T-A-N, give it another 10 minutes. We still do need to determine a name. Well, I might need to get in touch with Davis and Jesse about it. I can text them at some point, but I don't know if tonight's the best night. We'll figure something out. I think the hail activity with this is picking up. You can see we had only 4 or 5 pixels of the blue on the radar here, which is 70 plus dBz, aka very large hail. I wonder what the peak dBz amount we'll see today is, because typically 60 plus is where they start to say it's hail. And earlier we saw 78.5, which is crazy. And with this type of storm, when the hail is this large, it's really hard to tell if we have rotation or if it's just hail contamination, because look how large this hail core is. This is the type of hail where once you're in it, like if you're here, you're going to be seeing hail for 15 to 30 minutes. When will it be in Fort Worth? Do I know? I don't know exactly off the top of my head, but we can certainly take a look for you. So, right now, these storms, they're kind of moving pretty slow. I'd imagine it'll be an overnight threat. You probably won't start to see storms until at least 10 p.m. I bet Fort Worth will see its peak between 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., but I don't know the exact timing on that. That's just the general time period when they are expected. We could take a look at the models. So this is the HRRR supercell composite reflectivity. So this, right now, it's the 20Z. So this is probably about 4 hours from now, and that's when we'll be in Fort Worth. So that's the best answer that I can give you. I hope that helped. I'll try to go over that again a bit later when we have more of an idea. But these storms are moving pretty slowly. I mean, it took hours for them to get into the Oklahoma City metro. For what it's worth, there was no hail with the Tuscaloosa April 27th, 2011 twister. Yeah, thankfully on the radar with that, there was no hail, so it was a little bit easier to see on radar. But meteorologists, some of them thought it was hail, but because of how strong the tornado was, there was pink on the radar, because unfortunately it was hitting very populated areas and there was debris being lofted, and sometimes it'll think that it's very heavy rain or hail. But this storm we were talking about earlier is now in Big Spring, Texas, so I hope everybody took their precautions earlier. But I'm watching this storm here. No problem, Dottie. Stay safe tonight. Just have multiple ways to receive weather alerts. I'm unsure. I don't think I'll be live by that time that it is there in Dallas, Fort Worth, but I'll be here as long as I can. Oh, my mouse made a funny noise. Sometimes my computer mouse will make like a noise with the scroll wheel, and I don't know why. It's like a weird squeak. I don't know if the computer picks it up. Just make sure, tell your sister to have many ways to receive alerts. Make sure wireless emergency alerts, if she has a smartphone, are on, because if the power goes out, you wouldn't get an emergency alert on the TV. If she does have a weather radio, make sure it is tuned to the best station with a good frequency. I don't know what the frequency is for there. And I wouldn't recommend going to sleep very early unless you've got something urgent that you need to be up for tomorrow. I wouldn't go to sleep until the majority of those storms are through, but I'd imagine max velocity will still be live. I'm going to start linking some channels. If you don't have to use them, but you might want to send them to your sister, because I know max velocity is live. And some of my friends, Davis and Jesse, should be live tonight. You've probably heard of max velocity before. So there's his channel. I'll start pasting those links in the chat. And I'd imagine Mr. Storm will probably be live tonight too, so I'll get all those links there just in case she needs somebody to go to. So there's Jesse. But once again, right now, that storm near Roton, Texas, that very large hail is entering town on State Highway 70 North. So you need to be in your safe spot, underground or away from windows, because that is damaging large hail. And I might as well link Levi, although I don't know if he'll be alive tonight. Oh, Davis just went live now. So we're going to make sure everybody stays safe and has those ways to receive alerts. We are 10 minutes away from having our longest stream ever, but okay, that largest hail is now in Roton. We're down to the point where each street matters. If you're on MacArthur Street, East Johnson Street, East Burnside, any of those areas, you need to be in your safe spot. And if you're on Sammy Bow Avenue, you have 30 seconds before it is dumping hail on you, and it's softball sized hail now, which is that's just terrible. It's very damaging, and it's a very large hail course, so once you're in it for a while. The hail won't stop here for at least another 15 minutes. I mean, just look how wide it is. This stretches out 5 miles each way, almost 7 miles to the northeast. But just to give you some perspective of where this is, because I think this is a more small town. This is 27 miles north of Sweetwater, Texas, which looks to be a bigger town. Or also, it is 70 miles to the east or northeast of Big Springs, Texas. That's where this is right now. And it's moving south. This potentially could pose a risk to the Abalene area. I mean, if it continues like that, that would put it in Abilene. This is the worst hail core we've seen all day. And the severe thunderstorm watch for this area does highlight to 5 inches in diameter hail is possible, and this is 4 inches, so they definitely forecasted for that well. So hats off to the National Weather Service and SPC for that. How far to Abilene and time? That is a good question. So, right now, it's 50.9 miles, the center of that hail core, 50.9 miles from the Abilene airport, and that is to the northwest. And this storm, according to the National Weather Service, this storm is moving at 40 miles per hour. It looks more like 35. It looks a bit slower, but the National Weather Service knows best, so we'll listen to them. Hopefully this does miss Abilene, but we're going to treat it as if it would hit so that the people are prepared. Radar Omega says Abilene in 78 minutes. So in the next 78 minutes, a total of 130,000 people will have been hit by this, which is way too high of a number. This is a very populated area that the storm is going through. So get ready, Abilene, but right now it's in Roton, and there's not much else we can do at this point for them. But in Roby or Robbie, not sure how to say that, but that's just south of there. It looks like this may miss, but we're going to treat it as if it will hit, because there is that very real possibility, because I would hate to say, oh, it's going to miss, and then if it did hit, that would be very bad. So hopefully the people in this area are tuned in to me or somebody else and are watching a stream, or they have gotten the severe weather alerts. Thankfully, destructive severe thunderstorm warnings, which this one is a destructive severe thunderstorm warning, those do trigger the emergency alerts on your cell phone. So it will show, it'll say that there is softball-sized hail. So hopefully people are paying attention to that. But not everybody has a smartphone. Robbie. Yeah, that's one of the ways I was thinking to say it. We'll call it Robbie. I don't think it's Roby. Rob-E makes the most sense. It's one of those Y's and E situations. So this is also approaching Fisher, which is a much smaller town. Oh my. Oh, this is really bad. Look at, that was it. That was the hail core 3 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago or something. And it's really just coming together and getting even larger. And it just went, I mean, thankfully it looks like it waited to strengthen until it was out of Roton or Rotin. But that's not good. Not good at all. This is really bad. This is on the state highway. I hope there are not drivers here still. That is, I don't even know what to say. What is DBZ? It's like a measure. That's where the radar picks up on the like the strength. So the weather radar sends a beam. How do I make this make sense? The weather radar sends a beam, and once it can't get through, that's how it determines how intense it is, to my understanding. So it's picking up this. I don't know what DBZ stands for. I don't think it defines anything. It doesn't necessarily define anything, I don't think. So it's kind of hard to explain, but I hope that makes a little bit of sense. What does that hail core measure? Well, this DBZ is probably like down here, this pink 66. 66 is probably tennis ball size, and then this blue where it gets up to 75 up here, this 77. 77 is probably softball to baseball, maybe even isolated grapefruit. And then the red, like where you see 55, 61, that's probably quarter size. This also, we've been talking about the hail, but these damaging winds can be just as bad and blow everything around. This could blow the hail further away. 80-mile-an-hour winds, which is just absolutely insane. At this point, I don't even know what to say other than get to your safe spot now. In a raw B, you've got another 2 minutes at the most before you need to be in your safe spot. Let's check in on the live chat. Yes, the higher the DBZ is, the more reflective the object, aka the larger the object as well. I'm mainly worried about this hail, this part that's sticking together to the east of Roton. They're not even out of that hail yet. But it's going to be a big night. Boom. We have officially, this is officially our longest stream ever, 2 hours and 33 minutes now. By the way, William, here on Davis's stream, he was just saying, he was going over missed donations from PayPal, and he mentioned you, so you might want to go over there. Check it out. Oh my goodness, that hill core is getting even bigger along State Highway 92. If you are anywhere in this area, north of Sweetwater, just, no, we'll move that further east. Be ready to seek shelter. That was a bad circle. We still have no tornado warnings at the moment, but that's not what we were expecting today. Well, that is what we were expecting. We weren't expecting too many tornadoes, so we were expecting to not have many tornado warnings today, if that makes any sense. Thank you, William. I want to do much longer than 2 hours someday, because 2 hours and 30 minutes really doesn't sound like that long. But I started this when it was still sunny out, and it's almost dark now, which is crazy. They've dropped that severe thunderstorm watch for the Oklahoma Panhandle, so no longer in effect for Guyman, Oklahoma, Boise City, Perryton, Dumas. Those areas are in Texas. Oh, we have a tornado warning now. This is for... So, radar indicated tornado warning going towards Springer and Ardmore, Oklahoma, so seek shelter now. So once again, that rotation is moving pretty slowly, but that's near Springer, Oklahoma, approaching I-35 near Ardmore. Radar indicated rotation with golf ball sized tail. Yes, 25 has been a good year if you're a windshield contractor. So, once again, just this one tornado warning in effect. Which storm recycles, William? Sorry, I haven't been paying attention to chat. I got a little quiet on microphone. I noticed it got really quiet when I did that change. So I think I fixed the static, but I'm going to turn it up again. I want it to be a little bit louder because it sounds quiet. Okay, is it still static now on the other microphone? Yeah, the merger will probably kill this. I think, unfortunately, I might have to end off the stream. Which is unfortunate, but there are many other people that you could go watch. We've been live for 2 hours and 44 minutes. This is our longest stream. Thank you everyone for tuning in, especially William for the donation and being here. Oh, I don't want to end it off, but I have to go do stuff, and I need the motivation to either keep streaming or go do stuff. But we have 90-mile-per-hour storm, and we're not ending the stream right now. We're not gonna end it off. I can't end it with this storm. This is 90 miles an hour winds, which is 100% evident in the right call. I wouldn't be surprised if we see 100 mile an hour soon. That's south of Robbie. And there is a tornado warning with this storm now. This storm really went crazy. And it still does have softball-sized tail, but it looks like it is decreasing a little bit. We're not going to end the stream. We're going to stay. Because I'd hate to end off with this. So, I think we will be staying live. Look at this. that storm, it has significant rotation, which prompted a tornado warning, and then it also has thunderstorm wind gusts, which are 90 miles an hour, which is just absolutely crazy. We'll probably be here at least another 15 minutes. I wouldn't be surprised if they upgraded that to 100 mile an hour. But look at this. This is insane. The storm is insane, but the warning isn't, because it's 100% the right call from the National Weather Service. I am screenshotting this so much. That storm, this is crazy. So, let's get back to the weather. If you are in Robbie, Texas, listen to my words very closely, and if your volume is loud, I'm warning you now, turn it down. Get to your safe spot. There's nothing else that I can tell you at this point, other than that this is a very dangerous storm, especially to the east of there, and this is approaching Interstate 20, which to my understanding, since it's an interstate, it's probably pretty busy. If you are between this white line and this white line, no, here's how we're going to do this. Here's the interstate. The interstate, I'll draw a blue line for the interstate, a green line for the interstate. The interstate follows this way. That's pretty much where the interstate goes. It goes into Abilene. If you are between here on this white line and between here, you need to get off somewhere. Either go to west of Sweetwater or east of Abilene, because there's not much else you can do right now. I don't know why the stream is so delayed right now. Yes, it is recycling. That was a good call out on your part, William. Thank you for being here and always helping out in the live chat. That is why you are one of our moderators. And you're also a goat. Look at this. Okay, now I don't think it's capable of 100 mile an hour winds at the moment, but this last scan, definitely I did. Look at that. And then that, it kind of parted away. So, once again, there's a tornado warning with this, but even when that does expire, we're going to treat it like one, because this is insane. No, I think you're 100% right with what you said, William. That is what you need to do. There is no time to mess around. Okay, it looks like it's capable of 100 mile an hour winds again. This storm's just really on and off crazy, so you need to go to your safe spot right now. It's just absolutely insane to watch this in real time. I don't even know what to say. But near Robbie, this is moving out of your area. The rotation's still there. I'd recommend that you stay in your safe spot. In Robbie, you can probably get out of your safe spot 8:45. Just stay there another 15 minutes. Oh no. It's doing this again. Okay, we're freezing again. I have a solution. Watch this. this is going to fix it. Okay, now are we less laggy? I'm sorry about that. Once again, this destructive severe thunderstorm, this destructive severe thunderstorm warning expires in 1 minute, but they definitely need to reissue it. Are we unfrozen? Okay, we don't have a severe thunderstorm warning on this, but we definitely do need one. Okay, now it's okay? Good, we're back. I think this is our only tornado warning right now. No, it's not. We still have that one up there in Oklahoma. Still got some decent rotation on it. Our problem is resolved. It still looks a little bit laggy. It always does this. Once we get 2.5... This is why the last time that I did a 2.5 hour stream, I ended it then. Because there's something that my whole streaming setup hates about it. But all the devices, I mean... If I could show you guys how many devices it is, it would be crazy. I have my computer, which is the main streaming device. So the stream is running off the computer. I have a microphone and a mouse. And then my old iPad, which is very old, has OBS on it. It's a second display. And then what you're viewing right now is the screen mirroring from my new iPad. And then I'm reading chat on the phone. So it's a very complex setup. And once the computer starts to overheat, since that's the main thing running the stream, that's the only thing that ever has an issue. And once that starts to have an issue, everything does. Because everything else is just an accessory to the stream, but everything runs off the computer mainly. If I could stream directly off the iPad, I would. I don't know how there's not a new severe thunderstorm warning with this yet. Maybe we need to go to radar scope, because the warnings come through quicker on there. But it doesn't look like it. But look at the velocity on the color tables here. Check that out. Those damaging winds are at least right in there to the southeast of Robbie, 90 miles an hour minimum. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something up to 100. they still have not put out a new severe thunderstorm warning. It's gotten to the point in the stream where there's not much else I can say other than seek shelter now. Look at this scan. That was 5 scans ago. That was 11 minutes ago now. Those wind pockets, definitely 100 miles an hour in there. Where you see the dark blue, guaranteed. You know what? I think we're just going to stay live as long as I can. But I'm going to need to go grab some water and stuff at some point. But there we go. New severe thunderstorm warning. 80-mile-an-hour winds on that, which isn't the worst call, but that is surprising. But this does include Abilene. Destructive severe thunderstorm warning for Abilene, Texas. Let's see if this is on Omega. Yes, it is. Golf ball sized hail, 80-mile-an-hour winds. It looks like they've dropped the tornado possible tag, but yes, William, there is insane lightning with it. For some reason, my lightning never works on Radar Omega, but on Radar Scope, you can see it. Look at all of it, especially in there with the winds. That is dangerous. Like when they say that you'll never get struck by lightning, that's not true, because the chances of getting struck by lightning, especially in this area with that storm and with how many little people are there, is probably so high. So that's why you also need to be inside. That's why they say don't use appliances, because I bet you that has hit, and I don't like to say this, but I bet you it has hit some buildings. If we use the satellite mode on the map, oh no. I don't know how to do it. It's not good to try to figure out that stuff on stream, so we'll do it later. But just look at that. The hail isn't even the main concern with this storm. We went from being concerned about the hail near Watonga, which there's more going for them, very unfortunately, but also now we're dealing with the damaging winds with this, which is what we forecasted for today. Got a new tornado warning. This is near Durant, Oklahoma, Calera, Colbert, Achille. So let's see what this rotation is. There's that rotation over Colbert. It is pretty broad. High straight line winds do so much more damage because it lasts for so much longer. Yes, it lasts for so much longer, and it's often like the area where the damaging winds are is much more wide. Typically a tornado, it's a mile wide, half a mile wide, so the chances of you being hit by it are much lower. If we go back just a couple scans, this was a 4 to 6 mile wide area of winds at least 70 miles an hour. So you were absolutely right about that, William. A tornado and lightning are both electric discharge events. Yes, I know that. I don't know if you're wanting me to know that or the other people in chat, but they are both caused by electrical discharge, and they are both dangerous and should both be taken seriously. Most people don't take lightning seriously, and they just think it's cool, and it is cool, but it also needs to be taken seriously. Uh-oh, did stream freeze? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me and the screen is not frozen and you can see the radar playing right now, or put a 2 if there's some issues. So we still have that tornado warning, which was issued earlier for Ardmore, Oklahoma, and Springer, Oklahoma. We still have some rotation in there. I don't know what everyone in chat thinks, but I think it's best that we focus on what's going on over here with these damaging winds, because William thinks that these damaging winds are much more impactful. I'm going to be right back and go grab water. Give me just a minute, everyone. Thank you for your patience. We are going to stay live, and we'll have the radar loop on there. So I'll be right back. Alright, we are back for our continued live severe weather coverage. Just to give a quick overview, the time is currently 8:42 p.m. Central Daylight Time, 9:42 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and 7:42 Mountain. So those are the time zones where we're seeing our severe activity. So we are going to get back to it. So, if you're just tuning in near Rob E, to the east of there actually, approaching Anson. These are Cat 2 hurricane winds. Yes, they are. We can treat this like hurricane force winds, and you know how that goes. And this is also approaching Abilene. And along with, holy cow, how many times can I say and in a sentence? That's the question of the day. Holly, Texas needs to watch out. It's a very dangerous situation. there's not much I can say other than Holly, you've got some damaging winds coming towards you, 80 miles an hour, but I'd say 90 are even possible. So you need to get in your safe spot now. This also comes with golf ball sized hail. This is a destructive storm. Make sure you have multiple ways to receive your alerts. I don't know why, but the microphone sounds really quiet to me. So hopefully it's a little bit better now. I turned it up. We have a new convective discussion. This is concerning a severe thunderstorm watch. I just realized I don't have watches enabled on radar scope, and that's on Omega. So let's check in over here. That severe thunderstorm watch is in effect for another hour and 15 minutes, hour and 14 minutes for central and southern Missouri, along with portions of southeast Kansas and extreme western Illinois, till 10 p.m. Central Daylight Time is how. That's when that expires, 11 p.m. We're going to go back here just for a second to the computer because I think it's easier to look at things here. We do still have that tornado warning approaching Holly. Hopefully everyone in Holly does know what's going on. They're very aware. For what it's worth, the radar strikes recorded are cloud to ground or ground to cloud. They can't detect or measure the cloud to cloud lightning nearly as well, if at all. Yes, that is correct, because I've had many experiences where I hear thunder, but it's only cloud to cloud lightning, and the maps won't show it, so it typically only does cloud to ground. We have another tornado warning. Durant, Oklahoma is just getting surrounded. What's up, Jesse? Thanks for tuning in. We are lagging through it, but we're doing well. It's been our longest stream ever. But there are quite a few tornado warnings near Durant, Oklahoma. I'm mainly worried about the storms near Abilene. Because look at this wind pocket. Those are winds, I'd argue, 80 miles an hour at least. Maybe even 90. 90 earlier, definitely. If we go back a little bit, you can see how big that wind pocket was. Are you starting your stream soon, Jesse? Yeah, we've been live. I don't even know what that means to sound like fire resistance. I think I also sound different when I'm quieter on the microphone, like if I move it. And I've listened to my streams. I feel like I sound different in real life. But, yeah. Okay, those winds really picked up. Wait, is this an old scan? Yes, it is. But still near Holly. So especially if you're north of Holly, get away from windows and seek shelter now. In this pocket up here near Route 83 or State Highway 83, I'm not 100% sure what that was or what that is. I also don't want to forget about our tornado warnings near Durant, Caddo, Caney, Kennefic, I bet I said that wrong, and Calera, Colbert, all near Durant, Oklahoma. So this general area, if you're in a red polygon, you need to be in your safe spot. It's really hard to tell when we have wind and tornadoes, or wind and hail like this. It's really hard to tell if that's rotation or just something else popping up on the radar. But it's been a bit since we took a look at reflectivity. And this storm, it looks like its hail core is dying out a little bit, but it still has a lot. And we'll look at those storms that are popping up near Robbie. Let's see on 7 frames. Okay, they popped up about 10 frames ago, which is maybe 20 minutes ago. I'm not 100% sure. But just look at that. For real, Jesse, this has been my longest stream ever. I think I cooked pretty well today. We've been live. I need to go to the computer screen to check the exact amount. We've been live 3 hours, 14 minutes, and 8 seconds, and that's my longest stream ever. Before that, it was 2 hours and 32 minutes, and I was probably AFK for like 30 minutes in that. So this is definitely the longest stream. It's also the most engagement. I'm really concerned about if these winds are going to ramp up. This is just north of Holly along State Highway 83 or Route 83. I don't know what the little different icons on Radar Omega mean. I think that's a route or a highway. I know, it's really sad to see the Holly name here because they got hit by a tornado last year. It always hurts to see those towns that you know have been hit by tornadoes, especially very strong tornadoes, and when you hear the stories about how they impacted people. So I hope everyone here is taking their precautions, because even if we don't have a tornado with this, these damaging winds are just not good at all. It's warned for 80 miles an hour, but I think there could be gusts up to 90, but nonetheless, it's a destructive storm. And whether it's 80 or 90, it's going to be very similar damage. I wonder if they'll extend the PDS Severe Watch for areas over here. Probably not, though. Alright, bro, what the skibbity is my microphone doing? It's like flashing weird light colors. Somebody came in the stream earlier and was asking how much do I bet that reed's gonna get hit by a wind gust and get stuck. We've just got this whole cluster of tornado warnings here in southern Oklahoma and Durant. So if you are north of Denison, Texas, or in Colbert, Achille, Kemp, Hendricks, Meade, Silo, Armstrong, Bachcheto, or west of Bennington, Oklahoma, Caddo, Kennefic. I really wish we had better radar coverage here. I don't know what radar would be best for this, but it looks like Radar Omega defaults to the Oklahoma City Norman one. I don't know what the tapping noise is from this. We have a semi-discrete cell out here near Jefferson, Texas, north of Marshall. This is heading towards the Shreveport area. Got some, I mean, I wouldn't say strong rotation, but something could wrap up there. And then once again, that's west. Yeah, the mic is, I don't know what is happening with it. Okay, the microphone should be fixed. I don't know what's going on with it. I have two separate microphones, but the one of them is always super quiet, and I don't like to use the quiet one, but the other one's tapping a bunch. I might end the stream because we have a lot of other people live now, just so that I can try to fix my mic and get everything charged for my next stream, which will probably be later this evening. Okay, the mic's good, but we'll do a little overview for people just tuning in. So, we currently have a tornado warning to the north of Trent, Texas. This is radar indicated, and there's also ping pong ball sized hail with this, and the severe warning says golf ball. But we're mainly watching for the damaging winds with this. You can see 80-mile-an-hour winds moving through there in that pocket along Highway 83. And this one over here, you see that big white area? That is where we are watching those 90-mile-an-hour winds. So these are destructive winds. It'll blow things over 100%. Everything is going to be all over the place. This can blow high-profile vehicles off the road. Treat this like a weak tornado or a hurricane. I wouldn't be surprised if this storm prompted them to issue the 100-mile-an-hour damaging wind tag, but if you are east of Abilene, this whole area needs to be on the lookout. This is like the target right now. One of my goals for 2025 live streams in just, the next couple years is to like get better, like have a louder voice. Like I have a loud voice, but I don't know why. It just sounds weird on the stream. So I'm going to try to be more presentive on the streams. I don't know how to say it. But getting back on topic, south of Throckmorton, we have 90-mile-an-hour damaging winds according to the National Weather Service, which is absolutely correct with what is happening. On reflectivity, you can also kind of see it there, and we also have some very heavy rain with these storms. And as we can see, if I go over to radar scope, these storms are producing insane lightning. There's just lightning every couple seconds with this. Look at this one near Throckmorton. This lightning is insane. Yeah, you don't see that every day, William. That's for sure. I don't know if the microphone picked that up, but I just had some thunder outside myself. So I might have to go check that out later. The worst of that storm just went through North Abilene. Yes, it did, especially near Holly, and if it hasn't already, it's about to. Look at those damaging winds. Thankfully, for now, it looks like it is missing Abilene, but we still have all these storms that are going to come through later, so we're going to keep an eye on it. At this point, I think the stronger storm is this one near Woodson. So if you're in Woodson, Texas, you need to seek shelter now. You do not have time to mess around. You need to be in your safe spot right now. Even if you're not getting hit by the damaging winds with this storm, anywhere in these surrounding areas in central Texas near Abilene, the lightning could strike 10 miles away from a storm, and that is really dangerous. That's a often forgotten element of these severe storms when we talk about them. We have been live for 3 hours, 26 minutes, and 30 seconds. And I think my computer wants a break because the microphone and everything, it's getting all weird. So we'll probably end the stream off here, but we've been here for a long time today. So I want to thank every single one of you for tuning in. Let me go back in the chat and read some of the people. Thank you, Dottie, for tuning in, Camp, Sydney, Jesse, William, and thank you also, William, for the $10 donut. I really do greatly appreciate it. So I appreciate every single one of you that tuned in. Thank you all for such a great stream. Please stay safe out there, everyone, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Peace.